Good afternoon, guys. So it's 4:41 p.m. Today is July 20th, and today is Wednesday. So we had a roller coaster ride today, and that was expected. I was not expecting a big move today, and that's why you can see there was a down move also. Competitive move. Right. So overall, if you look at the day, right, then you will see it's a kind of neutral up day. It's not like strong move. See, so even in the pre-market or Discord voice, right? So what I said is I'm not expecting a big move, right? And then somebody asked, hey, of the open there is a big move, right? But then that big move is you have to look as per the context, right? Like within a context. So if yesterday's high was around 50, Globex high was around 65, and today's high, day's high, RTH high is 76, it is not a big move. Compared with yesterday, it is not a big move, right? So even though it seems it's a big move because it started from 43 and went to 76, so you thought by visually, yes, it looks like a big move, but it is not a big move. It's only a few points above Globex high, so that you have to look at into the context, right? And then the price came down, right? So now you combine entire day's price action, then you will see it's not a big move today. The whole idea was me telling you guys that I'm not expecting a big move. That means you don't look for a moon today. If you are long, just as we discussed, take one long of the open or during the day, take few points and out, right? Because we are not looking for a moon today. That was the whole idea. Okay, so for ES, it has to hold above before buyer's area 2125. NQ has to hold above 240. 240 became low of the day today. See my point? So this was the pre-market notes. I wrote it at 6:30, and you can see it in RTH. 240 became the low of the day. See? So as long as it is holding, buyers are in control. You should only stick with longs, right? And that is what I said in this call in the morning, that no shorts today. And there were two specific situations where I said you can take shorts, right? The first situation is breakdown below Globex low, and also it has to fulfill other criteria, which I'm not going to discuss here. We already discussed in the Discord. And the second criteria for short is balancing, right? So we discuss all this thing in the pre-market, and I don't want to repeat it in the end of the video, right? So, and there was one short, based on that scenario later in the day, if someone wants to take it still, but ideally I prefer to stick with long today, right? So that's what's pretty much it. So notes were very simple today, only 5 lines, and you already know Russell. So Russell is, this is a good R, right, which Russell broke through it, but and then at the end it came back down, right? But Russell is now slowly favoring buyers starting about this area. Gold, chop, right? So it's stuck, so no need to talk. Trim number 304, 338, right? So that was pretty much neat. Now this was the notes. See, it says thumbs up for buy and thumbs up. Forget that one. This one, NQ 200 to 40 is the buyer's area, right? And this is yesterday's comment, and I'm talking about today. So NQ2 is a buyer's area to hold, and ES 1626. They have to hold on to it. Anything beyond or below, something is off to begin with. See my statement? This was yesterday's statement. And that 240 held in the pre-market, that 240 held in RTH, what else do you need, right, in order to go long? This was clear indication that buyers are there. This is also clear indications that buyers are holding it. So long, no shorts, okay? So, and that was I told you yesterday even, right? So, and then let's go here, right? So this was the good area, that 2026 area, right? So ES held it multiple attempts. These were all longs from pre-market even. See, pre-market it was exhaustion long, right? So it can go down also, right? So it was exhaustion long, right? And you bail out somewhere here, right? And then you wait for RTH, and then again it came down at pre-market. This one you should not take it if you are purely following the price action, because you don't know what's going to happen, right? But if you are watching Mboxwave or other tools, you might see a divergence here. Then you can go long here, okay? And then you take profit of the open here. And then of the open, right? this was the long I took it, because I was watching this price right before open. In Discord I talked about 32 long, 34, 32 long, right? So I call out that trade even before it happens. When it touched 32, I took the long, right? And since I have to go out at around 9:45, so I bailed out right here at 43.75, and that was a good resistance. It was a confluence area too. So I took that 10 points in ES right of the open. In NQ I took the long from 262 to 300 area, and then also in pre-market I took the long from 240 to roughly here, So I grabbed few points in pre-market and right of the open, and then I left for the day. So I did not look at this price action until later in the day, like after maybe 3 o'clock or so, or 2:30 or so. So, but there were trades. What we discussed in the pre-market, there were trades actually. Based on that discussion, if you remember that discussion, then I said before leaving, I said 43.75 is the key. NQ is a troublemaker, but if NQ goes above 300 and this guy goes above 43.75, you can take loss. That is your loss. So, sorry, I got a phone call. So what we discuss in Discord is if this goes above 300, if this goes above 43.75, there will be a long, because at that time it basically broke through this good preferred sellers area. This was also preferred sellers area, right? But you can take a long because 300 was also important, right? That is the reason I explained why I kept the preferred sellers area here. That's additional confirmation, because people can fool you and they can short here. They will take above 300, right? And then they will short here. This is exactly what happened. See that? So it's somebody shorted here higher up, right? Even though it looks like it's going higher for about 300, buyers are there, but somebody shorted it. See, that was the whole idea. On purpose I kept preferred sellers area here instead of 300. But I told you that if it goes above 300 you can buy it, but you have to manage it accordingly, right? Because preferred sellers area is preferred sellers area, right? So somebody shorted it here, right? So, and then price went down, went below 300, right? But remember, I said we are not supposed to short today, right? So in that case, you just look whether the sellers are, since they broke below 300, you have to think differently. You have to think now, okay, fine, sellers are in control, let them hold below 300 now. Simple, right? So, and they have to do it then. In order to gain control, they have to do it then, right? And then, so here, first time up, right? This is where NQ went higher, right? So above 300, this guy went higher, but ES did not go above 43.75, right? So you can choose not to take this long. As I said, both has to go higher together, right? So you can skip this long from here, right? And then this response happened, right? So at this point, you should know that now sellers has to hold below 300 and ES has to hold below this, But we are not shorting it. We are just observing it that, hey, if sellers are strong, they have to hold below and take below, and then we are ready to short later on, right? But instead, you can see it, price sliced through, went higher, right? Here also it went higher about around 10.25, right? So 10.25 is right here. So this one you can take longs and longs, right? And you can bail out right into these red lines right here, 60 area, this area. Above buyers are confirming area, because you don't know, they have first price has to go above it and confirm it, right? But till then, this is the resistance then, right? It's a key area. So you bail out here, your one trade is over. Remember I said one long and done, right? So let's say you took this long, you took this long, and you're done. Then if you, let's say, choose not to trade, as I said, right, one trade only, then you got lucky, because look what happened after that. Choppy, see that? So that's why, see, I can visualize all this price action well in advance. See, here also same thing, right? It's a waste of time to trade this. But let's say if you're observing these things, that's where the shorts come in, right here, right here. Remember, based on the balancing concept we discussed, this was the trade right here, short, and then if you want to ignore shorts, fine, right? If you can stick with long, that is a very good idea, right? So when price, see this 43.75, that's where all these things started. Price came down here, right? So from here straight down, exhaustion, simple, So it is 80. Look at this was it was holding, right, positive territory after yesterday's stand-up day. Do you think it's gonna reverse, especially if it is holding about this area? Buyers will be there, any exhaustion they're gonna buy it. So here VWAP, this preferred sellers area, turn into buyers area now, right, because of broken out VWAPs, all these things, confluence area, you can go long right here. But due to this down move, some sellers are there, so you cannot look for moon, as I already said. So you take a profit somewhere here, you take a profit somewhere here, here, anywhere, right? And that's pretty much it. Then you can't hope for more. So those are the trades today, right? Now Mboxwave, I'm going to discuss Mboxwave. So Mboxwave was working nice, very nice today. So I looked at it and it was right. Every one of this trade it was confirming, perfectly it was confirming today. So let me bring Mboxwave now. So this is Mboxwave, right? So, and this is pre-market, right? So this is pre-market price activity. So remember pre-market I took the long at NQ240, right? Not because of Mboxwave, right? You already know now if you watch my the previous minutes, right, for my regular video, you will see that 240, this 240 was my support, and now you already know why 240 was important, right? So you can see it from here straight down, exhaustion 262. This is not good supply, right here 262, and also in a one way you can say it's greater than 210, it's a good supply, fine, you can say that, right? And there was a good good amount of selling also here. See, if I look at like this, see, so now you can say yes, it's a good selling here, right? And then but then 262 is not enough value, but let's say it's compared to this 210, 262 is good, correct? But then look at it here, 123, right? So compared to that, this is good enough, correct? Then it should have broken down with this much selling, it should have gone through this 240 and way down here. Instead it didn't even get there, so it touched there and basically it closed above actually 240. See that? That means it is exhausted into the support, so that was my long, so I didn't even look at this, I just took the long, because for me it was coming down straight into my support, good to go. That was the area we discussed even from yesterday, that today 240 is important, so I went long, simple. So now let's say if you're following Mboxwave, then I just explained, right? Compared to this, it's 260, it's a good value, selling is there, selling is here, then why the hell it didn't even go through this low? And that means divergence, price divergence, so price always wins, right? Compared to all this tool, price action is always the winner, so price has to follow it. If not, there is a divergence, so you go long right here, right? And then you will out somewhere around here, this low, right? Then you wait till RTH, right? So in this case you got lucky second time because price came down. So when this price action happened, I was watching it and I said in Discord that this looks like it's a fake move, Now looking into Mboxwave, you can see there was a divergence here, see that? And 65, right? My minus 262, 265. So into support again, right? This selling was also decreasing, right? And this one also contracting, right? So that's why you go long right here. Again, if you let's say missed out this is a good opportunity. Some people call it as a double bottom also, right? Double bottom, divergence, this is divergence, so go long, simple, right? Then you take again profit here, or you can hold it, up to you, however you manage it, right? So I'm not going to discuss your exit, right? So then what happened? Then price went higher, and look at this delta, 62, 80, 80, right? So the delta was good, not that good, but at least it was maintaining it, right? And then here buying was increasing, right? And here it was a flip also, right? Here a little bit buying came in also, right? Then what happened? Then you can see a double algo here, positive sign at the pullback, and there is algo here, right? And there was a minor imbalance also somewhere here, and this selling was like nothing, peanut size, right? But at least this was a sign, and then you have another algo, that signal, right? The big dot. So now you have 1, 2, 3 big dots versus one selling. See that? So all this combining and this picture, it's gonna go higher at least to my this line, 300 line. That is my dream number. So in this code I said price will visit at least one time dream number from this 240, right? So here there was a proof, right? So the folks who are the members, right? This was your long right here if you are using Mboxwave, right? And that was your long right here, and then you target 300 at least minimum, right? And then price was moving higher, so you can hold it, right? And then what happened? And then of the open, right? Open, I was watching, right? And then I took this long right at this 262. That is what we discussed, right? In my previous conversation, the previous minutes of the video, regular video, that I took the long here and I build out here, right? So now you can Mboxwave also, you can see the trade actually started from here, right? This was only the poke below, but you can see this buying was going nicely, right? This buying was going nicely. So this was your long. Now this is 5-minute time frame, right? So while we are here, let me open 1-minute time frame and you can see it, so that trade which is right here, see that minus 49 peanut size supply, look at this selling, see that, and then look at this selling, not enough, right? And then so then selling here more, but here there is no selling, so you just have to look at these values also sometimes, minus 49 is nothing, so, and then that's 262. Remember this 5-minute chart here, see, that's what this one, see that? So in 1 minute you can see that picture, right? That's why there was a long here, right? Here also you can look into 1 minute. 830 is somewhere around here, see that? 422, 46, see? So also there was a trade here also, right here, 231, 73, right? And then that was around 10:05, right? So in 5 minutes you will see it also, see here, right? So here these are my lines, these are my Bible, so I can read the price based on these levels, right? So I knew this 357, 338, this 338, these are my preferred sellers area, okay? This 300 line is like kind of a line in sand for buyers to hold above, right? So here it went through 300, so I know at this point buyers are there. Then if you watch the regular video just a few minutes ago, in the same video, the few minutes backward, you can see the importance of this 300, how to view this price action. The moment it went above 300, this was a long here, and then you can verify with the Mboxwave also right here for those who are using Mboxwave, okay? Otherwise you can just rely on the levels, right? And then you can go long. The moment it break out here, there was a signal, there was a buying, just go long, and then that's pretty much it, and then later in the day this was the long again, right? Again this was a preferred sellers area turned into buying, right? Because price went above, now it can act as a support, price came down straight into it, and then you have a divergence here, right? So I took the long right here. I'm pretending now, right? Because I was not here, but if I was here, that was the long I showed, right, in the video. So this was the long because of this much amount of pressure. Look at this much price action, and then price broke out, right? It came down again here, somebody's gonna buy it, right? But let's say if you're afraid, right, then this was a short here and it came down here with this minus 40 delta, it's a divergence. Now you can go long here, right? Or you can wait for a price to break out about this area, then wait for a pullback. If it happens here, you got lucky, double algo, you can go long, and that's pretty much it, so, and that is what Mboxwave is about, right? So and that's pretty much it, and that be all for today.